Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ESZ Whitewater. There's the logo. And ESZ has a great collection of Tenkara rods on their website. They also carry accessories. They carry lines. They are an all-in-one shop for Tenkara. Now, this is their Whitewater. And the Whitewater is a zoom rod. And I really do love a zoom rod. So essentially with a zoom, you have two different rods. This expands out to 10 feet, and then when you enable that zoom function, you can expand this out to 12 feet. So this comes in a protective case, and this case is about 2 feet long. So this is not going to really fit inside a day pack, but this would strap along the outside of nearly any pack. You could also just kind of sling this thing over your back till you get down to the water. Now I've got a knurled cap on the end of this thing, and it's differentiated from the back side, so you can kind of open this without really looking at it. And the rod also comes in a protective sleeve. So there's two different versions of this Whitewater. There is a 10-12 as well as a 13-15. I decided to go with the 10-12 just for the smaller waters that I'm usually around. I thought this would be a better fit. Now there's the full specs on it. So it's an 8-section rod. And wait till you get a load of this thing. Check that out. Awesome looking cork handle. And it's got some pretty unique features that you don't see on a lot of Tenkara rods. So this rod's about 22 inches when it's collapsed, so it's not a pocket rod. This is still a pack rod though. And this handle section is about 9 inches, so that's plenty of grip. It's kind of a straight section, no real taper, no real hourglass to it. And you can see I got like a ferrule here. And then the back side, this is really unique here. I've got an extra plug right from the factory. So the plug, again, this is what keeps the Tenkara rod all closed up. And every time you take this out, you have to do something with it. So with every Tenkara rod, I'm sticking this in my pocket. I'm putting it in my fishing bag. With the Whitewater, I've got a cap here and I can just slip it right in here. So I've got two already, so I can keep one in my bag. And this one, I can take it out of the end. I can fish the rod. I can slip it in here. It's always right under my hand. I don't have to worry about losing it. And then when I'm done fishing for the day, I don't have to search my pockets and try to remember what I did with it. I've got it right here on the back side. So I got a nice comfortable handle. It's not too large, not too small. I love the natural cork feel. And with the plug in or out, this is knurled. So this is how I'm going to take the rod apart. So I can take this off and all these sections come out of the backside if I had to maintain the rod or just clean the rod. So with this plug in place, I'm not able to extend the rod all the way out, but the zoom still works. So you can see I've got my 10 and my 12 here, and this is the difference in your zoom. So that is a heck of a difference. When you're in a really tight area and you just like to reach a little bit further out, that zoom is going to help you out. And if you're fishing bigger water and you get back to the mouth of a river and it starts to choke down on you, all you got to do is take that zoom, turn it down, and you just took 2 feet off your rod. So with that plug off, I'm able to access the Lillian. And this is actually a rotating Lillian. So this spins 360 degrees. So that's kind of a cool feature. So we can see how fine this tip section is. So that tells you right away this is going to be a super sensitive rod. Now all these segments have an anti-lock channel on the back side. So there's a chance if you overextend this or pull this hard or just get into a larger fish that some of the sections don't go in that easy. It requires just a little bit of manipulation or you have to pop it to get them in sometimes. These anti-lock channels are going to kind of counteract that. So I've got the rod fully extended now. And this is like a whisper light rod. I really like the action on this. And again, this is at its 10-foot level. So I'm going to just expand this out. And look at that distance. That is a huge difference when you're talking about taking a rod going from 10 feet to 12 feet when you're out on the water. So I got the rod all the way extended now, and this is an 8-section rod again. So we can see the flexibility on this tip. And this is zoomed all the way out right now, so I got a lot of rod going on here. And look at this. Look at the flex on this. Now we just had severe flooding. My county fair flooded out. We had water in the house, so everything is screwed up right now. I'm not going to be able to fish this rod in this location for a little bit, but I've got an upcoming trip to Pennsylvania next week, so that's probably going to be the first chance I get to fish this rod, but I cannot wait to get a decent sized fish on this little rod. This is going to be a lot of fun. So the weight on this rod is a feathery light 3.5 ounces, and this rod just moves with just the slightest flex. So the ESZ Whitewater, just like any Tenkara, we're going to follow the same operating procedure here to open this up. So we're going to open it up from smallest to largest. And you can do this right on the water in just a few seconds. And we can pop our zoom out. We can catch us a fish. And then closing it up the same way. And those anti-lock channels are going to prevent this from causing any sticks. So from ESZ, I also got a couple lines as well. This is their furled line. So this is braided. And this is a nice high vis, and this is a 10-foot line. So if you've never used Tenkara before, furled is a lot easier to cast in my opinion. This is probably more durable. I really like using a furled line most of the time. Now the level line, so this is just a straight piece of fluorocarbon essentially. This is a 12-foot, so this is a little bit longer, but this is still going to attach to the Lillian the exact same way. So level lines work a little bit better in certain situations if you're trying to get more cast distance, if you're worried about presentation, but it's really nice to have both of these with that whitewater. So to go with those two lines, I also got two line holders as well. So this first style's foam, so this is fairly standard, and this hole just slips right over the rod. So if you want to be light, you can take just your rod, just your line, and you can go out fishing for the day. This also works well in any Tenkara pack. You can attach this through the same type of holder that you keep your tippet on your Tenkara gear. So these are awesome to have, but this is my favorite. So if you haven't seen yet this style yet, this is a silicone line holder. So this works similarly. It's got the same concept. You can just wrap your line right along it with your fly already on it, your tippet ready to go. Slide this over your rod and off you go, exactly like the foam one. The difference is with the silicone line holder, I've got a small fly box here as well. So that is freaking cool. So this is honestly going to hold enough flies for me for nearly any situation unless I'm going on a dedicated trip. And I've got two of these. So I've got one on the front side, one on the back side. So I could carry dry flies and nymphs. I could carry Kabara flies. I could keep weights in here as well, split shot if needed. So this is freaking awesome. If you're picking up your whitewater, I definitely suggest getting the silicone line holder as well. Currently, ESZ has a gift pack that they're giving away with their rods, and it's pretty freaking cool. So they're swagging you up big time here. So they're giving you stickers to represent when you're out on the water. I've got a fish towel and then a lens wipe as well. I also got a bag with mine. Now this is not listed on their website, so this may be a limited thing. If this was something you were on the edge of getting, this should definitely push you over, and you'll have your whitewater and your line and your spool holders at your door in no time. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at outdoorcore.com. Now, I've definitely been on a Tenkara kick lately here, and this is an outstanding way to catch fish in the wild. This is super lightweight gear. You can carry a Tenkara rod when you're not really even planning on fishing, let alone when you're on a trip and you're trying to supplement your food off the landscape. This is freaking awesome. Now, this isn't for every use. A traditional Western style fly rod will come in just as handy as a spinning reel in certain waters, but I really can't see myself traveling without a Tenkara rod in the near future here. And when you have a zoom rod like this whitewater, it is essentially like carrying two rods at once. 2 feet doesn't sound like much until you're out there on the water. This 2 foot of rod, when you either subtract it or add it to what you're already fishing, is a huge difference. So definitely check out the whitewater. ESZ is a pretty awesome company. I'm loving this thing so far. I cannot wait to get a chance to get this thing on the water, and it's probably going to be next week. So follow me on all the social media platforms, and I'll put some short content up of me hopefully catching monster fish with this thing. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.